Welcome back to Keep It Real Boxing. This is CypherBox bringing you the latest in boxing news, and have some news for you. Andre SOG Ward has retired from boxing. Yes, he has. He put up a video on Twitter, so he put out a tweet, had a video on it, which kind of depicted his ambitions and the dreams he had throughout his career. And it shows how he achieved all those dreams and all those ambitions that he set out for himself. And at the end, he's looking at the camera and he says, "Mission accomplished." And then he turns his back to it, walks away from the camera, and as he's walking away, he throws up the peace signal with his fingers. Actually, you know what? Let me just play the video for you. So just bear with me for a second. Let me play that video for you.
All I want to do is be a fighter.
All I want to be is an Olympic champion. All I want to be is a world champion. I did it.
So there you have it, Andre Ward's video that he posted, or he tweeted not too long ago. Now, although that video didn't really say "I'm retiring" or hashtag retiring or anything like that, it was left a little bit up in the air. But I've just checked boxingscene.com, and there's a few other articles over over Chrome, and it has been confirmed by boxingscene.com that he has now retired from professional boxing. The reasons behind it is that he says his body can't take the rigorous training and obviously the punishment that he does in the ring anymore. And to be fair, I can understand it. I mean, he's had a record, you know, he's got an outstanding record, professional career record of 32 fights, 32 wins, 16 KOs, no losses, no draws whatsoever. So, you know, he's a former Olympic gold medalist as well, let's not forget that. So he's been in the sport for a long time, so, you know, which tends to happen as fighters get older, as they start breaking into their 30s and stuff. You know, their body can take less and less, and you know, we know Andre Ward, before he went up to light heavyweight, had a couple of years off because he had an injury to his shoulder that kept him out of boxing for a while. So I'm guessing, you know, it's all, you know, kind of taken its toll on his body, and now it's time for him personally to hang it up. I also think there's probably a little bit of a lack of hunger now for it. You know, some boxers get to a certain age and they don't want to train so hard. They don't want to, you know, they're not that committed that they used to be. You know, all that hunger from them is gone, and that's not a bad thing. It happens with all boxers. That's why boxers retire eventually, and it's quite common, as we all know. And it's better for him to do it, you know, now, rather than still trying to convince himself that he wants to fight and he wants to box, and end up going out, you know, with an L, which would have been unnecessary in my opinion. Kind of like, you know, there's some fighters out there who just don't want to give it up. Like, you look at Roy Jones Jr., you look at James Toney, they're still fighting, but they still have that hunger for it. Andre Ward doesn't have that hunger for it, I get the feeling, and he's decided he's going to retire. You know, there were potential talks with Tony Bellew at cruiserweight. There was potentially a talk about a fight with Adonis Stevenson to become undisputed champion at light heavyweight. There was also talk, he was saying he wanted to go up to heavyweight, and talks about that, they weren't putting Anthony Joshua, they weren't saying he was out of the question, which, you know, I would have been interested to see if that actually would have happened, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen now. Andre SOG has now retired from professional boxing. Whether he will come back, I don't think he will. You know, end of the day, when you look at it, look at the SERGEY KOVALEV fight, the first one. So when he had that fight, after that, he was talking about retirement. He said, if it's in my best interest, etc., and stuff like that, then if it's financially viable for me, then I'll come back. And when a fighter starts talking, a lot of people are like, oh, he's scared of Kovalev or something like that. I was surprised to hear him talk about the Kovalev rematch like that. But in my opinion, it kind of makes sense. He's now retired, because you think about it, he was probably contemplating saying, like, do I really want to do this anymore? And one of the from what I understand, one of the reasons he did have the rematch with Sergey Kovalev was because he kind of wanted to shut everyone up about the first fight. And now he's done that, he's probably thinking, well, you know what, I made a hell of a lot of money out of that fight. I think he got some, was it 6.5 million for the rematch with Kovalev? So I don't think he's hurting in terms of money or financially. He does commentate on HBO boxing quite often, so I'm sure he's going to get himself. I think he's got his own show out in is it San Francisco? He's from Oakland. Yeah, that's it. So I think he's got his own show out there in Oakland in America, where he's actually the host or the presenter for it. So there's loads of other things he's doing away from boxing. So I suppose he's probably thought to himself, well, I can do other things. I don't need to box anymore, and he quite clearly doesn't want to box anymore. And you know what? Shout out to him. He's had a great career. Let's face it. He cleaned out the super middleweight division. We all know that. Won the Super 6 series. And obviously went out injured for a while. Came back, became undisputed champion. Took the best light heavyweight on the face of the planet in Sergey Kovalev, and beat him not once but twice. And he's a former Olympic gold medalist. So, congratulations to Andre Ward. As much as I would have liked to see him carry on for maybe 1 or 2 fights, in the day he's got to do what's best for him and his family, of course. But it would have been nice to see him have a couple of more fights. I definitely would have liked to see him a couple more times. For me, definitely pound for pound number one. At this moment in time, he was pound for pound number one in my opinion. A lot of people don't have him there. A lot of people don't even give him a top 3 spot there. But for me, he was pound for pound number one, no doubt about it. Undefeated throughout his whole career, cleaned out the super middleweight division, unified champion at super middleweight, Super 6 series winner. Not only that, came back, took on the biggest task at light heavyweight in Sergey Kovalev, beat him once, beat him twice, gold medalist. His record says it all, and he's undefeated, and he's going to finish undefeated and on top. So congratulations to Andre SOG Ward. Wish him all the best in retirement, and that's it for now, guys. That's it. Let me know what you think about Andre Ward retiring. As always, like, share, subscribe, and until next time, this is Cypherbox reminding you to keep it real.